Carbonites Gaming.
Welcome back, Knights, to another Summoner's War video with myself, TorchHealer. Today, I know we've been talking a lot about runes and different monsters for different teams. So let's take a look at how some of those monsters actually do in, let's say, Arena. So today I think we'll take a quick look at some Arena teams, how they actually work together, as well as some Guild War, because I think I still have a Guild War to, take part of in this evening. But like usual, let's crack that beer, get this video going. Alright, so first things first, we've discussed some teams that work well together. It might be a little laggy on the screen, I apologize, but let's start off with my Guild War, or Guild Battle. So, in the thoughts of being a good, guild member, you always try and hit the greenest towers first. So at least this one we can use, right? So let's see, let's do a nice easy team. We'll try and use only 4 stars for this first one and see how well that works out. I just emptied out a bunch of things out of here, so let's see what we're dealing with. Well, we can use Delphoy. She'll be useful. Delphoy also has a defense lead, which will work pretty well. So let's add our copper and the Amesity. So that's a full win team. If that Sierra is fast enough, it's really going to hurt, but hopefully it isn't. So that's all 4 and 3-star monsters. So we'll use my Lucian here. Make sure that's the right Lucian. It is. Another 3-star Megan I've spoken about. Let's see if we can find something with an attack power lead. Another 4-star monster. I've got an idea here. So, there. So attack power of wind. So that should give my Lucian a bit more gusto. So let's see what we can do here. Now, I'm not saying it's going to work. Obviously, I could just Lucian the top team, and I could Lucian the bottom team, or I could do a bunch of 5-star shenanigans, but that's not what this video is about. So once again, sorry for the lag. I'm still trying to figure out what's causing that. I presume it's my awesomeness just takes over. So first things first, let's buff up our copper. And who do we delete first? Well, we're going to have immunity right away, so let's get rid of their stripper. And then we put immunity up. So now their only damage is water against wind, which isn't really going to work. And then they have the Sierra, but the Sierra can't put any bombs down without getting rid of that immunity first, right? And they don't have a stripper. So we'll knock them back a little bit, maybe. We'll reset the Sierra. She can hit as much as she wants. Toss a defense. Oh, well, no defense break, apparently. My plan. But at the end of the day, it worked out, right? So 4-star monsters. Now, the issue with this team is that Darien, the Light Vanguard, is going to kind of take away some of the damage, so he mitigates the damage coming into his team. But what we're hoping is that they're squishy enough where it's like it just wipes out the Darien and then everybody else. So let's take a look at how this magic does, and it works. If it works on the screen, it'd be nice. Yeah, perfect. Alright. So I think the rest of these are just farming defenses. Once again, I know some people can have trouble with a Skogul. So let's see if we can find a quick, I'll just leave the same team on the bottom. Let's find a 4-star team for him. There. Done. So unless he's on unless he's on Violent, then that should work. Hopefully, I can just set it to auto and it'll be nice and it'll do stuff and I can chit chat in the background. But the way that I want to start it up is going to be the stun, right? So I'm hoping to first skill, get that stun, or sorry, second skill for the first attack and get that stun. I missed it. Oh, he is violent. Well, this could do some damage to me. But the good thing is Garo's passive, so any damage that's going to kill him increases my attack bar by 50%. So his Atlas Stone, like his big nuke, is going to be more damage than my guy has hit points. So I have element advantage over him, as well as he can just sit there and throw that stone in the air all he wants, and it's not really going to do anything to me. And once again, 3 and 4 star monsters, and since Feng Yan is a defense base unit, we bring a monster that would ignore defense, right? So Megan, that 3-star Mystic Witch, gives us that attack buff, and then we just chuck a bunch of cards, and hopefully it knocks him down. Let's throw a bunch of cards. There we go. So with that that attack power, the wind attack power lead that's coming from my, I forget her name, Shihua? Something. It's going to help out, right? And I think all the rest of the teams, I looked at the rest of the teams in this guild, and it's all a bunch of farming stuff, right? So we'll hold off on it for now. Maybe we'll go take a look at an arena team. So in arena, it's kind of nice. You get the 4 monsters that you're going to be tinkering around with. It gives you a bit more option, right? So let's see what we can find here. We'll just refresh. And alright, so looking at this, they have 2 speed leads, one of which resets. They have a stripper. They have a single target stripper. So what are they trying to do here? Well, they're trying to strip, reset all your skills so you can't do anything. Which, just might work. So usually I try to avoid anything that's going to strip, right? A guaranteed strip. So this, the Juno is annoying. That second skill removes all beneficial effects, and most of the time she's on despair as well. So what's going to happen is she's going to remove, put continuous damage up, and then you're still not going to get a turn because more than likely she's going to stun you, knowing my luck. So I try to avoid some Junos. You might use the same idea. See, something like this. Something like this is easy. And the team that I'm using currently, it works fairly well. But how do we use a 4-star team in here? Let's take a look. So what do we have for 4-star units that we could use? We got an Orion. We have some bombs. We can steal a buff. And what else do I need? I need something else that's going to help me out here. Let's try this. So let's go accuracy. So my hope here is to... The only issue is that that Annabelle can cleanse the bombs, so I don't really want her to do that. So I think my target's going to be the Diaz, and I'm not saying any of this will work, and trust me, all of my better runes are on my 5-star monsters. So I'm trying to think of what I want to do here. Alright, so we use Orion's 3rd skill, get that buff up. Get some attack and defense. You know what, I want to take his attack bar away. And then some bombs. Knock on her a bit. Perfect. So that's what we want. We just wanted her to use any skill but her 2nd skill. And then we will just have some fun here. So I apologize once again for the super lagginess. I'm a little bit ahead of where it is on the screen. So I'll just sit here and I'll kind of chit-chat through what I did. So all I wanted to do was make sure that Annabelle didn't use that 1st skill. It doesn't matter if Ariel, the water archangel, heals up. That doesn't bother me, right? So I got my bombs down with an attack buff. So that's the biggest thing, right? You get an attack buff, it gives you like an extra 20-25% attack. And that's what I wanted. I wanted him to get that attack off with the buff, right? So at the end of the day, once these bombs start going off, it's enough damage where this might be a lower ranked guy, I'm not entirely sure, but it is enough to start taking these guys out, right? So bombs are a great option if you are newer into the game, right? If you can get them with a bit of immunity, that's a lot better, or an attack buff. Usually you can use a stripper with them, because like I said, if they didn't have, or if they had will, I wouldn't have been able to do a whole lot, right? So bombs are a good idea. And once again, you want to make sure that you're using them in the correct order, right? So, for me, I had my Orion go first, so that he was giving me that extra bit of a buff, possibility to remove a beneficial effect. And once again, these aren't great runes, right? Like, it's a 230 Orion. It is a 219 Megan, right? Like, that's not a very fast monster. And then 188 for my Malaka, and 198 for my Ajir. They aren't outrageously fast monsters. Obviously, I wouldn't use a water team going into a wind damage dealer, right? So know your elements, know where you're looking for these things, right? So something like this, I'd go a fire team. So let's get rid of this, start looking up at a fire team. So when I'm thinking fire teams, I'm going to think Garo. Garo is an amazing monster, or I wonder how fast. I have an idea. So let's try you. So the same idea as before with my defense team, right? So I've got, defense monsters, and just because I can, that's the wrong button, Torch, get it together. I'm going to put that Delphoy in there as well. So that gives me a defense buff for my copper, and it also gives me immunity, right? So I can cleanse, and I should be okay. So let's see how well this works. Now they have 2 revivers, which could be a bit of an issue, right? So in my opinion, I want to take out the what's her nuts? The Triana, right? So that Wind Heart Magician. I want to take her out first. And the reason I want to take her out first is because at least with her gone, I can do damage, or I can do damage to her, right? So if I do a 1 hit on her, which I'm really hoping to, alright. So if I do 1 hit on her, she comes back. She'll buff, do all that stuff, that's fine, right? None of that bothers me. Oh, geez, that's a lot of stuff happening at once. Alright, so once she comes back, she'll heal up, give her team immunity, that's fine. For me, I want to make sure that I get my immunity up so that their light paladin, Jean, John, Jan, whatever you want to call her, so she can do her thing and it has no effect on me whatsoever, right? So my next move is, I've already used up Vanessa's passive that brought Triana back to life. So what's the point in attacking anybody other than the Triana right now, right? Triana's the only one with an active passive, and it's just going to mitigate, it's going to make it so I can't kill anybody. So we get rid of Triana again, and then we just kind of wait for our cooldowns to come back, right? It's nothing big. We start, oh my gosh, just catch up game. So, for those of you that are stuck watching this, it's use your full power punch, ignores defense, and now we're just waiting, right? So, we'll toss our Mind Shock, try and reset the cooldown time of the John. In my opinion, that's going to be the most annoying monster that we're going to be facing. So, if we can get rid of that AoE provoke, which we didn't, it gives us a better chance of dealing with what we need to deal with. So first skill of Copper has a chance to stun. Obviously stunning is going to help, so I tried. And as you can see, once this kicks through, it didn't work. So now we're back into an issue. Once it all catches up, I've lost my immunity on my Emesity. So now there's the chance that he can be defense broken, which didn't happen, thankfully. But that provoke that I didn't want to have happen happened. Right? So now good chance I'm going to lose one of my buffers for my defense and my crit rate. Not the best thing. Right? But I can still use my Copper. His first skill has a chance to stun. I can still use my Bulldozer. Like you can see here, his first skill has that chance to stun as well. So stuns aren't going to be bad, and we're just waiting for our big skills to come up. So obviously the big skill that I really want to come up first is going to be Delphoid's immunity, right? Prevent that provoke and make it so that, we have a bit more sustainability, right? Another thing is this Feng Yan is going to defense break. I don't want to be defense broken. So once Feng Yan hits, whoever he's going to hit, we're going to make sure that he doesn't keep that defense break on there, because defense break's going to hurt. I don't want to hurt. So he defense breaks Delphoid. Delphoid has her immunity as well as a cleanse up. So we use that, get a bit of a heal, right? And now they can start doing whatever they want again, right? So we're waiting for those skills to come back up. We can continue to stun, right? So try and stun with our Copper's first skill. You can also do a defense break with that, but it's not my favorite skill to do. So we miss our stun. He's still trying to hit our Delphoid, which I don't want, but it doesn't really hurt us in any way. She's just kind of there as a support unit, right? Alright. Jeez. So Delphoid kind of gets picked on a little bit here. She's gone. Right? Now you got to remember I'm going against 2 good 5-star monsters, so a speed lead as well as a defense breaker that revenges and heals. So I know my defense isn't going to be higher than Feng Yan's, so I'm not even going to bother with that. Alright, so let's see if we can do some damage to the Jean, and it's a defense-based Jean. See if we can do some damage to the Feng Yan. I got a feeling we're not winning this one. Alright. So we try to hit the Feng Yan with the full power punch, but we don't have our defense buff, and excuse me. And the Delphoid only helps out the wind monsters, not both. So sometimes you gotta know when to fold them. This is a team that can be beaten fairly easily using 5-star monsters. But the point I want to get across is, if you start knowing what monsters you need to use where, right? So if you're going against, I'll even show my defense here, right? So this is just kind of my defense that I would have during the week, right? So my normal defense during Arena Rush is, here, I'll throw it up there, make some comments, let me know what you're thinking, and we'll kind of go from there. There. So this is my normal Arena on the weekends defense. Now there's a bunch of ways you can beat it. It's not the greatest defense that you're ever going to see. As you can see, I don't have towers maxed, I don't have anything like that. But what I do have is strips, heals, immunity, and revenge. Right? So I have 4 things covered, sorry. As well as they're HP-based monsters or defense-based monsters. So it's not like I'm using an attack monster with low defense or low HP. I'm using HP and defense monsters with high HP and high defense. The reason I want to do that, and later in the week it's a bit slower, it's harder to hit quickly, so people don't want to hit it as often. But what you can do is water-based monsters here, right? So water has equal element into water monsters. It has equal element into light dark monsters, but you also have that bonus 15% to the fire monsters, right? To my Rakan. I could switch Rakan out for somebody else, like a Triana, but then this is very much a Lucianable defense, right? Anything that ignores defense is going to be really, really useful. I guess the point I'm trying to get across is when you're first starting to get into Arena, look at those 3 and 4 star monsters you have and what they're going to do to help you. Build them up the way that they're designed to be, right? So attack bar boosters, put on speed. Damagers, right? Like attack based damage, put on attack, fatal or rage. And then know what you're going against as well. So for something like this, I don't have I'll tell you right now, I don't have my Rakan on Vampire. He is on Violent. So it works once in a while, but if you're going to hit this with a Lucian, you can wipe out 3 members of the team if you have a really well built Lucian. If not, then you might have a bit more of a challenge on your hands. But that's the thing, is know what you're going against. If you think that you have fast enough runes to get that first turn, you can build those damage dealing units. If you're kind of a little tankier idea, you want to bruiser it out, have a healer, have some immunity, have some shields. Use those monsters that are defense based or HP based for their attacks. And I know this really looks like a free to play team, and I am free to play, so it is, but I know it's not an obtainable team for a lot of people. The point is, you can substitute a lot of these guys out, right? So Wusa can be subbed out for Delphoy. You can throw a 4-star Skogel in here, right? Same idea. Damage based on his HP. So give him some HP, give him some defense, and he can sit there and he can take fire hits, right? So know what you're going against and understand how your monsters are going to work with that. So hopefully, aside from me losing in the arena, hopefully this kind of gives you an idea of some of those 3 and 4 star monsters that you can start building those arena teams on, right? And then if you have any comments or questions, leave them below. I'll take a look at them. I think next week I might start looking into the what should we do? Maybe we'll look into some rifts, right? So the light, the dark have always been a lot harder for a lot of people. The wind, water, fire rifts, we'll start off looking at one and kind of picking out teams that might work for that. And we can also look into the raids, right? I know a lot of people, 1, 2, like raids 1, 2, and 3 aren't really worth farming, right? Get through them so that you can work on 4 and 5. 4 is okay, you can get some okay grinds and gems from that, but I think obviously your end goal is going to be to raid level 5. But that is for another day, Knights. I appreciate you watching to the end of the video. Like I said before, like, comment, subscribe. Leave me any ideas, stuff that you guys want to see. I'm here so that you guys can ask questions and you guys can get some information that you might not be able to find otherwise. Hopefully I have it. But until then, like always, keep those shields up, Knights. Well, Knights, you made it all the way to the end. You know what that means. You've won the chance to watch another one of our videos, or perhaps even subscribe. Make sure to leave a comment, and we'll see you next time.